this show going, man.
Hurry up, hurry up! Hurry up!
Hurry up! Hurry up!
Come on now. We're going to have action soon. Right here. It ain't going nowhere.
Boy, yeah, you got some technique, boy. You ain't show me that this summer.
Hey, wild cat.
Ball at the 5, third down and 2.
That was bad.
Let's go have some fun, bro. We ain't got to talk about too much.
He wasn't playing the ball.
It's holding!
Cliff. It's a cliff. How is that not called?
That ain't going to call a damn thing.
What is the delay for? He's standing right there.
He's taking a card out. He's a piece of paper.
It's that close? Dear Lord.
Hello and welcome. We're the Aussie Guys. I'm AJ. Here with me is G. How are you, G?
Just G.
Yeah,
Just G.
Not just G.
No, but,
G.
But no one else.
No.
Just you and me tonight.
Cricket. Listen.
Shepsy.
No, Shepsy's at work.
Shepsy.
He has, well, not ditched us. You know, he's just
He
got
has,
commitments.
basically. Shafted us. Ditched us. What other words he come?
Bit unkind.
Gave us the Khyber.
Gave us the Khyber. Drinks of the pod.
Slammed the door on our ass.
Drinks of the pod, G. I've got,
Grab 'em on.
you bought for me a Grand Ridge Hat Lifter Stout. I'm not really a stout guy myself, and it's not bad, you know. It's from, don't know, product of Australia. I'm not sure where from.
Sydney? Is it Sydney on the front?
Oh, Victoria. There you go.
Oh, from
Brewed and
Victoria.
bottled, yeah.
Well, there we go.
Local.
Nice local drop. And I'm wearing.
Later.
Yeah, later. Matzo's Brewery, a mango ginger beer. I'm not too oh, is it ginger beer? Not actually sure. It might just be mango beer.
Oh.
I thought it was ginger beer. I got it from the ginger beer aisle.
Oh.
I thought I'd give all the ginger beers a go for the next month or so. No, I don't know. Does this come under the girly drinks label? I'm not too sure, actually.
You know, I had one of
I know-
those, just the mango beer. That looks very similar to what I had.
Yeah. What did
So
you
maybe
think?
it is. Eh,
Yeah, I'm sort of thinking,
I wouldn't really
if that's a word, but yeah,
have it again.
it's a good expression.
Yeah.
No, it's not the greatest, actually. Western Australian, obviously from Broome Brewery. Yeah. They also have a chili beer. Maybe I should have given that a go.
Should have given that a go.
But
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of chili. I don't think it's not going to burn my tongue, is it? Like chili food.
I wouldn't think so. It'd just be spicy. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of mango, so I sort of go the mango, but it's just, it hasn't won me over.
No. Oh, never mind. Well, cheers anyway.
Mate, you never know.
And-
I just get them different ones each week,
Of
and let's
course.
just give it a crack and see what happens.
Absolutely. Give it a crack.
Spice of life is variety, AJ.
Or variety is the spice of life.
Mate,
Same. Hey, listen.
I don't live in that world. Mine's back to front.
Hey, you've got a little Julio thing there.
I did. I got a little.
Or Funko, Pop Funko, aren't they? Things?
I have absolutely no idea. My son's he's got, you know those floating shelves you buy. You've got a couple here.
Yeah.
You've got the big. Are they the big ones?
They could be
Yeah,
the
they
big
could be
ones.
the big ones.
Yeah.
So he's got a big one and a shorter one.
Yeah.
How big would that be? That'd be like. That'd have to be close to 1.8 metres, I reckon.
I reckon
in
it would
length.
be. Yeah.
He's got a couple of those.
Yeah.
And they are like 3 deep
Really?
in these things.
You're
Yeah.
kidding.
No, he's all over it. He's mate, whatever you want to spend your money on. And I was over there last night and I thought I'll go in there and I'll grab him one. He's been a good kid lately. But behaving himself. So, and then I was in there for about 10 minutes and I'm looking around and then up in the top left-hand corner.
Yeah.
NFL ones.
Yes.
And the Julio. So I had to grab a Julio. I thought, I bought for the analysts, they had a Gronkowski.
Oh,
So
cool.
I got him a Gronk.
Yeah.
And I saw a Khalil Mack, but he was wearing
Yeah.
the Raiders outfit because I wanted to grab you one.
Yep.
And I saw you have a Derek Carr.
Yes.
I didn't know if you really want the Derek Carr one.
Well, they had a Marshawn, and I was tempted,
no.
but no. Because, you know, he's probably, you know, is he a Raider next year? Probably not. And I don't know whether you really kind of identify him as being a Raider.
Look,
Whereas-
I won't.
No. Whereas Julio, he's a Falcon.
Yep.
Carr, whatever you say about him, he's a Raider. And they had only a fairly small selection. Gronk's a good choice.
I think they have I reckon they have about 25.
Yeah, they only had some teams, though. They only had a small selection of...
Yeah, it was on the box, actually. I don't have the box anymore, but the whole collection's on the back of the box.
Yeah.
But that was great. Look, I brought it home and I gave Noah his, and he was pretty wrapped. It was a, what's that thing? Overwatch? No, what's that thing? The Fortnite, is it? Overwatch? I think it's another one that they all play.
Overwatch is different, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he's got a heap of those Overwatch ones. So I don't know if they have Fortnite ones actually at the moment.
Oh, maybe that's...
Jeez, if they're going to bring out you could retire just on that alone.
That's going to be a little earner, isn't it?
Yeah, without a doubt. But I brought it home and I said, hey, look what I got. I got a hook. And he goes, yeah, I know.
He said, yeah, I know.
He said, I saw him there a couple of weeks ago.
And he didn't...
I said, dude, heads up. Heads up. So you know what I did?
What?
Banned him from playing PlayStation for the night. I said, mate, there's a lesson learned. Back to G's parenting 101, which we used to do about 5 years ago. When we first started doing the pod, we had G's I'd come in with a bit of a lesson on how to raise children.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there you go. There's another one. There's a little lesson for you.
Fancy that.
I know. I couldn't believe
He saw
it.
that and he didn't say anything.
It's not so much that he said. It's the attitude on the face when he says it. Like, yeah, of course.
Ugh.
Yeah, see the attitude on their face when I take off the PlayStation and play Fortnite for a night.
For a fortnight.
Hey, there you go.
Boom, tish.
Fortnite for a fortnight.
That's right.
Loving it.
Yep. Now, let's get to some news, G. So, did you watch the game today?
Some of us actually have work. So you've doubled down today, actually, haven't you? You've been a teacher. You're on school holidays. Okay,
Well,
so there's a sleep-in.
Didn't matter.
There's a sleep-in.
But it was a public holiday.
There's where you're doubling down. Plus, you have a public holiday on us, so you're doubling the amount of sleeping time that you're probably cranking up today. Some of us are at work.
Yep. You were at work today?
I was at work today.
You're kidding?
No.
Wow.
Oh, public holiday for a football parade. Like, is that not the most ridiculous day off?
It is.
That we have. No, if you want to, like, our now Premier gave us a day off, like, mate... Is that seriously how you're going to win people over? You're going to win over the people that are bludgers and you're going to piss everybody off that actually is self-employed or has employees that now that you have to pay for having a day off, or if they come in like retail, services, double time.
Yep.
Yeah, well done, dickhead.
Kind of crazy, isn't it? So anyway, what I was saying was...
parade. Goddamn football parade. Give us a spell.
Rams... Vikings. Man, it was a cracking match. You haven't watched it yet because you're at work.
I have not watched it, but I did get a phone call today just into the first quarter. Go, my God, you won't believe what's happening.
Who was that from? The analyst?
Yes, the analyst gave me a call.
Oh, nice. Man, that Rams offense, now they're 4-0. Whoo-wee. That offense looks so sweet. It looks so good.
I'll go and watch it actually when we've finished this tonight.
Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp.
Kuppeth runneth over.
For sure. Robert Woods.
Everybody, like, as far as fantasy goes,
Todd Gurley.
Everybody gave you something. Stefan Diggs gave you yardage.
Thielen's the number one.
Thielen gave you
receiver.
yardage and a touchdown.
Yes. Gurley. Obviously, the only...
I started Cousins, which I was a bit nervous about, to be honest.
No, he had a good game.
He had a great... Mate, what happened last week with Cousins...
Yeah.
I just thought, and with the only thing they had going is did Marcus Peters play?
I think he was on and off.
On and off,
the field.
Yeah. Okay, he's a bit dodgy going in.
He was, yeah.
And Talib gone.
Yes.
I thought, well, there's half a chance.
Yeah.
So I stuck him in there, and it paid off. I think he scored about 35. I think 35 in 6-point touchdown leagues.
Yep. Oh, Goff's was better, but...
Yeah, Goff was in the 40s.
Yes.
But I was up against, actually, in one of the leagues I was playing against Cooper Kupp.
Right. Oh.
So I still outscored Cooper Kupp.
Yes.
I've used my quarterback to do it.
Yes, that's not good.
But it's, mate, I'd rather that happen than, only getting 20 out of my quarterback. At least
yeah. At least it's something.
On the scoreboard, I'm 2 ahead. That's what I look at.
Oh, man, that Rams team is for real. And it took me back to the to memories of the Greatest Show on Turf. Mm-hmm. This could be Greatest Show on Turf Mark II. Mm-hmm. Easily could be. You've got Goff. He's clicking on all cylinders. You've got one of the best running backs in the entire league. You've got a receiving
You've got
core.
the best running back in the entire league.
Yep. No, I was putting it out there for debate. Yeah.
No debate.
No debate.
Look, you put Kamara in there,
Yeah.
but Gurley's the number one. If you had draft today, I still think Gurley would go number one because we don't know what's going to happen when Mark Ingram comes back in week 5.
And flip it over to the defense. And mind you, I mean, the Vikings were able to move the ball, but still, you've got Aaron Donald, you've got Ndamukong Suh, you've got, obviously, Marcus Peters, Talib now gone, but you've got...
How did the Vikings O-line go up against the
they
Donald
did pretty
and Suh?
good.
Because they were a disaster last week.
They were. Donald, I think, got 2 sacks, but I think he did it in the last quarter.
Okay.
So they held up reasonably well, and it was just getting to the point where they were behind. The Vikings were behind, and the pressure was on to score, and so basically Cousins was holding the ball way longer than he sort of needed to or, should have. So that was sort of part of the problem, but it was a cracking game. The Vikings D is very disappointing. Obviously, Everson Griffin is out. So, speaking of the news, obviously the thing with Everson Griffin, there was kind of an ugly incident at a hotel. He's taking personal time for health reasons. There's sort of some mental health issues that are kind of, not really being talked about, but sort of being hinted at, which is a blow. And the Vikings, after going win week 1, have gone tie, loss. So... Vikings aren't looking too good, and that Vikings D isn't looking too good either. I mean, man, the Rams, one of the best offenses in the league, mind you, but they racked up the points on them. Moved the ball.
And they played against probably the second best offense last week.
You did say best, didn't you?
I said second best.
Second best?
Second best offense
How do you
after the
spell that?
Rams.
WORST? Is that how you spell best?
No, I wouldn't say they're the worst. Cards are worse. Hey, mate, Josh Allen has arrived.
Josh Allen has arrived. Well, let's see. Let's see if he can do it 2 weeks in a row. But who would have predicted that? We had, and I swear this is no exaggeration, I was going to say 90% of the people in our Survivor League went out, but it went down from 25 to 4.
It would have across all Survivor Leagues, wouldn't it?
Yes.
We lost half last week, and you probably lost 3/4 of the half that were left.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we had about 60, I think, in the beginning.
Yep.
And over the first 2 weeks, and I was hanging in there. It's fine. I was pricking pretty safe.
You're hanging in there for 2 is not hanging in there. You're hanging in there for week 12 or 13. That's hanging in there.
Well, considering it's down to 4, I'd say hanging in there.
Yeah, he's done a really good job if you got to week 2 or week 3. Mate,
man.
The thing will be over by week 6?
That's right. Now, not to open a can of worms, but obviously one of the big news items in the last couple of weeks and just during the week has been the controversy over the roughing the passer penalties and defenders. Mainly the thing with landing with your body weight,
your total body weight
on the quarterback.
Yep.
And so the rules committee met during the week and they didn't change anything. But they did, I think, change or as the NFL likes to do. They don't like to change it, but they'll say, well, listen, let us explain it a tiny bit or give you a different point of emphasis. Mm-hmm. I think they don't like to admit that they're wrong, basically, is the gist of that. But basically, I think
that rule's been there for a long time.
It has, actually.
Yeah.
But why? I mean, are they calling it differently?
I think the week prior, the call on roughing the passer on
Clay Matthews
against
Alex Smith.
Not so much last week's hit.
Yep.
By Clay Matthews. The week prior when he hit Kirk Cousins.
Oh, yeah.
While he was throwing.
Yes.
Like I heard some commentary by one particular guy that said, he thought it was ridiculous. Of course, he lifted him off the ground and, mate, are you serious? Like, it was, he did everything you want. He didn't put his weight on him. He tackled him to the side. Didn't ram him with his helmet.
Yep.
The reason he came off the ground is he threw the ball at the same time.
That's right.
He launched the ball.
Yeah.
That was a really bad. And is it just me, or are we seeing it? I'd like to know the stats on flags this year. And I don't know if because I'm watching the game in condensed and everything's quicker and you just see flags come out everywhere because you're watching the whole game in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But there is flags going everywhere. And look, some of the hits that are getting put on people are just, come on, man, that's ridiculous. These are grown men playing a physical game of football, wearing padding and a helmet. Like, I'm not saying there's no spear tackling going on, but some of the tackles and, like, it's just... I just don't get it at the moment.
Yeah. Because, look, what Clay Matthews is doing is his job, and I think what the NFL is trying to prevent is quarterback injuries, but ultimately, what can you do? You're running after the quarterback. A sack is a big part of this game, isn't it? And what the NFL, I think, is expecting you to do, apart from now the fact that you've got to tackle them from the side so your helmet doesn't hit them, and you don't do it too late when you're going for the quarterbacks. You have to pull up. If they throw the ball, you have to pull up. Is now, when you sack them, you have to pull them and roll them instead of jumping on them, which is a bit crazy, isn't it?
Is that what they're asking them to do?
Well, I think so. Well, how do you avoid putting all your body weight
Maybe you got to put a flag, like flag footy, you got to put the flag in and you just got to rip the flag out. And when the flag comes out, if the ball's not out, sack. You can't throw the ball.
Or just touch them. Boom, you're done.
Yeah, that's it. Go all over. Don't throw the ball.
Oh, how shocking. Hey, listen, the NFL has had for the first time, in history, a quarterback 3 straight 400-yard games. Who is it? Obviously, it's like Aaron Rodgers, or it's...
No, Fitzmagic. Even I know that. He's
Tom Brady, or... No, Drew Brees. No.
When I went on to ESPN in yardage, and that the number one QB for another week is Fitzmagic. Now,
he had a shaky first half last week, but look, he pulled it out. They almost won that game against Pittsburgh, so it's still his job. And certainly, I think it was always going to be after the first 2 weeks, because they've got this week and then they've got the bye. So it wasn't like they were going to make a change.
No.
We'll see what happens, and I think it just has to be hot hand, doesn't it? Like, as soon as he starts to falter, that's when they'll make the change. But you never change a good thing, do you? Mike Evans is like, whoo-wee.
Mate, the whole offense is loving it.
Yeah, except the running game.
The running game, I don't know if you can blame him for the running game, no. But it's not looking good.
The running game isn't looking good. Heard today that Jake Butt tore his ACL. It was non-contact. It was during the team's walkthroughs. Things like that, you go, oh, you're kidding. Not that he was a major fantasy
I don't think anybody's
contributor.
Really starting Jake Butt.
Dynasty, I've got him in a few Dynasty squads. Rashad Matthews, frustrated at his targets in Tennessee, and how could you blame a guy for being frustrated with the Titans at the moment? Asked for his release and got it. So he has been released by the Titans, and he's a handy player. He could land on a...
Be nice. I've got him in a few Dynasty leagues.
Yeah, me too.
It'd be really handy.
I wonder where he'll go. That's always the question. Okay, let's go to our...
Stick it in the guts, Barry.
Shut the gate on this one, Maxie. It's the Ducks' guts.
Yeah, she's the last of the V8. She's Ducks Nitro.
Quarterbacks. Do you want me to start?
You start.
I've got
usually
2.
You just take mine.
I've got
Go.
2.
You got 2.
Yeah.
You got to bring it this week. There's no Sheps.
I know. I will bring it. Matty Ice.
Oh, I should have gone first.
Oh, you got him?
Yeah. I started him last week. I'm backing him up.
Oh.
He's going again.
Gangbusters. What were you saying about Steve Sarkisian?
Yeah.
Great guy.
I don't think I was the only one saying that. But
No.
Look, he actually came out and said that he's now implementing.
Yes.
Jeez, I struggle with some words. I was actually talking to someone on the phone today and I used a really good word.
Yeah.
And he has no idea about, he knows I do this, but he hasn't heard me talk on it. And he hasn't heard me struggle with the English language. But he actually said to me today, he goes, mate, that was a good word, but you struggled to actually get that out, didn't you? I said, yes, I did. Yeah, but he's implementing more of his play calling now.
Yes.
So, look, as we said, it wasn't so much the plays, it was how you construct a group of plays to get an end result. He was just calling in plays for the sake of calling in plays.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it seemed like.
Over the last 2 weeks, Matty Ice has thrown for 646 yards and 7 touchdowns with just 1 interception and has rushed in 2 touchdowns. This week, the Falcons are at home against the Bengals, and the Bengals have surrendered the 7th most fantasy points to QBs. They've allowed multiple TD passes in 3 straight contests and have given up 2 300-yard outings. So Matty Ice is my first.
Just on top of Matty Ice, is it? Look, I think I said last week with the way they played last week. This is the sprung to life the 2016 Falcon offense. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It was amazing that they discovered that they actually had a first-round pick and they used it.
Yeah. Who is this guy? Oh, he's pretty good.
I think he's related to that chick off the Alien movies.
No,
but
that's
he's not.
Ripley.
Is that Ripley?
Yeah. Calvin Ripley.
God damn it. I should pay more attention when I'm watching those movies. I'm too scared. I got my head underneath the pillow half the time. But anyway, look. 3 touchdowns, 146 yards.
Yeah.
And he's a talented, he was the most talented, ready to play wide receiver coming out. And thank God that they realised that he was actually on the roster. And look, and this week as well against the Bengals, it's going to be just, the air raid sirens will be off this week, as it was last week. The injuries on the Falcons' defence is getting to critical mass stage. Oh, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, look, the Bengals the Falcons are going to put up a score. The Bengals are going to put up a score, not just because they're a good offense, is because, mate, we've got no one to cover everybody.
No.
And we'll get to that a bit later on. So, the old pigskin's going to rack up some serious freaking fly miles.
Yes. Second one I've got, I wonder if you'll agree with.
Don't do it to me.
Eli Manning.
No, mate, I hope he does. I've got him on a roster. I can't get rid of him.
Versus New Orleans. Now, Manning's coming off his best game of the season, easily. He completed 80% of his passes for 297 and 2 scores against the Texans. Now they're at home to the Saints. No team in the NFL has allowed more fantasy points to quarterbacks than the Saints. And add to that, I know Evan Ingram is out, but Sterling Shepard is, the offense has got lots of weapons. Obviously, you've got Saquon Barkley. He's catching so many balls out of the backfield, a ridiculous number of balls.
He's cranking up Eli's numbers.
He certainly is. So I think things are really primed for a good week for Eli.
Yeah. Oh, look, mate, I agree. Look, and that was the only game that I watched during the week that I didn't actually know the result of. I didn't know the scores of some of the games, but I knew who won or lost, and that's the only one. And I was watching it, I'm going, okay, when's this all about to, implode on the Giants? When's Eli going to do a couple of stupid passes, and this is all going to be over in a matter of 2 plays? But it didn't happen, and he looked good. And look, the defense of the Texans is not the greatest, but it's not the worst. And no, it was a really good performance. So. And against, we saw what happened last week with the New Orleans' defense is not what we expected.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, no, I like that one. So, my one, Phillip Rivers.
Nice.
Last week he was in the sit. This week he's in the start-up against the 49ers, and they're giving up 23.4 fantasy points. The 49ers have given up 2.4, almost 2.5 points per drive this season, which is quite a large number. And look, at the moment, the defense couldn't. I wrote down here, and God bless her, they couldn't stop my grandma Iris, mate, and she's been dead for at least 10 years. And look, Rivers has thrown eight TDs, which ranks him as number 3 in the league. He's number 7th in interceptions, and the 49ers haven't actually had an interception on defense all year so far.
Now, Reuben Foster's coming back this week, which is a nice and really needed.
Which wide receiver is he covering?
All of them.
Okay. He's going.
Mike Williams. Mike Williams has arrived.
Yeah. Okay. And Phillip Rivers is averaging 23 fantasy points. The only thing that would probably hurt him this week, and I'd like to give the other side, is the fact that the 49ers offense ain't going to be that great now with CJ Beathard.
Nah.
And you may find that they're going to run the ball a bit more.
Yeah, we might talk about that in a minute.
Okay, sorry.
Hey, listen, just interrupting you slightly, but Mick on the Twitter said you need to get the chili beer into you. There you go. I just replied to him and said we were just talking about that.
Yes, we were.
So, should we go to...
I won't give it a go next week. I'll leave it a little time and get a few others into me.
Sounds good.
And then I'll bring out the chili.
So let's go to running back. Starting this week, Carlos Hyde at Oakland. Now, I don't know if you've heard, but there's been a bit of an upgrade at quarterback, Cleveland.
Yes.
Suddenly it's a whole different offense. Defenses suddenly have to respect the pass a bit more. Now, I'm a fan of Tyrod.
You're the only one in the room.
Whatever. No, I don't mind Tyrod, but look, Baker Mayfield is much better even now, and he showed it in training camp, and now the Mayfield era can begin. This will be his first start.
Do you think last week watching Tyrod,
Yep.
with how many plays? Do you have like 15 with none? What was he? None for
Terrible.
God knows what.
Yeah.
You could really sense when he was out there the walls closing in, couldn't you?
My word.
With every pass that was incomplete.
My word.
Like, 'cause some of the passes he threw weren't even close.
No, I know.
And I don't know if he's that bad.
He had a bad day. And I think
the injury came along at a very nice time for him just to go to the little blue tent.
That's right. Now, listen, the Browns are playing at Oakland. For all the faults of the Raiders' D, they're actually playing the run really well. But the thing about Carlos Hyde is he's averaging more than 20 carries a game. He has scored 4 times. And the Oakland D is wearing out by the fourth quarter. So... And we did say this in a conversation with
Nick Chubb time.
week. No, we said... Play Carlos Hyde while you can because he's going to get injured somewhere down the line. So play him. I
think Nick Chubb was, a couple of weeks ago, was on my future waiver.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Well, I listened to my own advice. I went and grabbed him. I'm just going to sit him on my bench.
Very good. Now, do you want me to do another one or do you want to do...
Excuse me. Please. No, you give...
Matt Breida.
Start.
Yes, start.
Oh, we're going to have a conflict of interest
Now, this is a bit controversial.
It is.
Because I almost made him a sit.
Well, someone did.
Oh, wow. Well, I'll tell you why I made him a start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know if you've heard, Jimmy G's out for the year.
Do you want me...
What?
No, that's okay. No, go.
You want to do your sit? No,
I'll do my sit after you've done your start and why.
Now, CJ Beathard's not bad, right? He's not bad.
He's looked really good.
And listen, he's going to need a safety valve out of the backfield, and that's going to be Matt Breida. The San Francisco receiving core is patchy at best, I would say. But I think Breida is going to actually be a sneaky start because I think he's going to get a ton of dump-offs. I think that's the reason why I've put him there. And that LA Chargers front seven is also a little shaky.
I do have that written down here.
Yeah.
The D has not been good. They are ranked 28th against the run.
There you go.
280 rushing yards, 186 receiving.
Yep.
And 4 TDs have given up.
Mm.
And Breeders look great. I've written this. I've got him in the wrong. Maybe I've got sit. Yeah, I've got him on the sit. He's 11th amongst RBs at the moment.
Yeah.
Averaging 13 fantasy points per game. But he did hyperextend his knee last week.
Yeah, no, he's okay. Practice fully. Yep.
Okay. I have limited on Wednesday. I might have to change that. But look, I had him here for the simple fact he's got the hyperextended knee. I don't exactly know how bad a hyperextended knee can be. CJ Bess is starting at QB, so it's not like they're going to be too concerned about his arm, are they? Well, they're going to be more concerned about probably the running game now, to be honest.
Yeah, probably. It's just that the Chargers D is not the Chargers D we were expecting. Joey Bosa, I think, has been put back a little bit longer now. It's just you can run against him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought Alfred Morrison might see a bit more game time.
Oh, maybe as well. Yeah. Okay. Who do you have in your starts?
Philip Lindsay. Against the Chiefs, who have given up 29.8 fantasy points to running backs. Mate, the Chiefs have given up, the worst in the league, mind you, 334 yards, 2 TDs to receiving backs alone.
Wow.
Now, Philip Lindsay, I don't think they've actually used him too much as a catching back this year so far. I think his numbers have been pretty shallow.
Okay.
But he can do it. We've seen what he can do. And look, last week he was, without doubt, the most agile sort of pinball sort of running back that they had.
Well, he got ejected, didn't he?
He did. Well, we'll get to that. He did get ejected because didn't realise that the Golden Gloves was not the sport that he was actually playing at the time. You know what Golden Gloves are?
No.
No, it's a boxing.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't understand how people punch or like he's got a helmet on, dude. Like I've never understood that. But he was without doubt the most dynamic looking runner until he went off last week. I think he was averaging. He only had 4 carries for 20 yards, so he's averaging 5 yards a carry already.
Yeah.
Booker, Freeman. So I've got him. As my start this week.
Okay, perfect.
You got another one? No, you've done yours.
I've done mine.
I've got James White versus Miami. I don't like to go the big fish like you do, the easy ones.
I wish it'd be Sony Michel, but anyway.
I was going to put Todd Gurley in, but he'd already played.
Get out of town.
They're giving up 21 fantasy points to running back. Look, every time they have like a concern on offense in the run game, he always. I don't remember a game that he hasn't stepped up when they've asked him to step up. And I think the way this offense is looking at the moment, and look, they might come out and absolutely blow the Dolphins out of the water, but the Dolphins look good.
Yeah.
That defense looks real good.
It does.
Mate, Tannehill looks good.
Yep.
I think, is it in the last 11 starts or something, he's won 10 games.
Has he really?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a nice stat.
So, look, he's always going to be a certain PPR starter, isn't he? White?
Yes.
But I think this week he can also be just your standard scoring starter. He's a do-it-all back. Mate, guaranteed he's going to give you a touchdown this week. Now, he might only give you 30 yards, but I think they'll use him a bit more. Have you got Sony Michel at all on your list?
No, I wish I did.
Okay, look.
I mean, I wish I could.
Sony Michel's numbers, his numbers went up from week 2 to week 3.
They did.
But I just, everybody's talking him up. He looks okay. I think he's realised not that he's starting to realise, he's only played a couple of games, for God's sake. But those arm tackles and things that he when he's breaking through in college, mate, it doesn't happen now.
No.
These guys bigger and stronger. That hole closes a lot quicker. Those arm tackles, these guys are a lot stronger. And he looked okay. I'm not going to rave about him yet. I really like Sony Michel, but I put my money on James White this week.
Yeah, it's more that I've got so much stock of Sony Michel. Or not.
Look, he's going to get the
I've got
carries.
some.
There is no doubt he's going to get the carries.
I'm just hoping that
And
he
like
gets...
most people, you just need that one, don't you? 1 or 2 good runs.
Oh, yeah.
Get your numbers up.
Yeah. All right. Should we go to wide receiver?
Please.
All right. Wide receiver. I've got Manny Sanders. So I'm going back to that Denver KC game. It's sort of easy pickings. Probably, isn't it? Because the Chiefs have allowed the 6th most fantasy points to opposing wideouts so far this year. Sanders is the wide receiver 1 in Denver. And this is going to be a shootout, or potentially, if Denver can sort of, try to make it a shootout, this could be a shootout.
When does Cortland Sutton become number 2?
Ooh, there's a question.
Thomas is good.
Yeah.
And Sutton hasn't set the world on fire yet.
No, but Thomas hasn't looked...
Just looking like any other receiver at the moment.
Is it fair to say he's looking a bit older? But then again, Manny Sanders is not a spring chicken. He's playing fantastic.
But different body type too.
Yes, yeah, true. Okay, and Manny Sanders does have 3 touchdowns in his last 4 matchups with the Chiefs. Whatever stock you want to put in that. But anyway, Manny Sanders is my first, and I've got a second one. The second one is Sterling Shepard. You've got Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, that's okay.
Evan Ingram's out for a few weeks. I think the main beneficiary is Sterling Shepard. Basically, his targets will go to Shepard, really. And add to that the fact that it'll probably be quite a high-scoring game against the Saints. So who do you have?
Well, look, the Saints are ranked dead last against wide receivers. They're giving up 47.3 fantasy points to wide receivers, which is just, they've already given up 843 yards. That's an average of 281 yards a game. Now, I added it up really well because I used a calculator.
Well done.
I know. I found it on my phone. There's actually an app on your phone. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, these things. They've given up 9 TDs, which is an average of 3 if you divide it by 3.
Yes.
I didn't need it for that. I asked Noah. Like you said, there's no Evan Ingram. A ton of attention will go on OBJ.
Yes.
And look, Shepard last week looked fantastic. He's looked fantastic all year so far.
Yeah.
He looks really alive and wide. So I reckon he's another guy. I'd probably put a touchdown on his name this week.
Yeah.
Right alongside it. And another thing too, really importantly, is that the Saints have also put Patrick Robinson, the slot corner, on IR.
Oh.
Sort of helps ship it out just a little bit, doesn't it?
Just a little? Oh, man. Do you have any others?
I do. Mike Williams.
Nice.
Mate, I am loving Mike Williams at the moment. He looked absolutely fantastic. Look, it's not so much the yards. He's had week 1 he had 81 yards. Week 2 he had 27 and 1 TD.
Yep.
Last week he had 81. Is it 81 yards, 2 TDs versus the Rams?
Yeah, it was a big game. Yeah.
But it's the catches that he's making and the way he's going about his job. Like I don't know if he's actually dropped the ball.
Really?
Mate, he's contested catches, and the thing is too, is that last week the 3 TDs that he caught, the 3 TDs he's caught this year, if you go back at it, mate, in seriously tight coverage. So that means basically that Rivers is trusting him,
right,
when he throws the ball to him. Like, he's making catches at his ankles, he's going up and getting it, he's making tough coverage. And last week, you go and have a look, the first person he threw the ball to when they got in the red zone wasn't Keenan Allen.
Right. Ooh.
It was Mike Williams.
Yep.
He looked his way.
Okay.
So I've really liking what Mike Williams is doing. I think he can keep it up this week against the 49ers, who are just... yeah.
Should be easy.
They're giving up 29, almost 30 fantasy points a game to wide receivers.
Yep.
So he's definitely the number 2 guy there.
Okay.
Yeah. I also have Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, nice.
Just before I go, in 3 games, in the first 3 games of the season, the 49ers have given up 100 yards plus to 7 receivers.
Have they really? Wow. That's a lot.
I got Tyler Boyd.
Nice.
Oh, he's another one. He's on fire, isn't he?
Stepped up, yeah.
He's up against Atlanta, unfortunately, this week. But, fantasy's fantasy. It comes, my fantasy team, if they play against my Falcons...
Yep.
Doesn't mean we're going to lose.
No,
Just means that I don't mind if Tyler Boyd goes off a little bit.
Sure.
And they're giving up 26.4 fantasy points. As I said, the defense is absolutely decimated. We've lost our 2 starting safeties now.
Yep.
So time for the kamikaze to step up. Could be a big week. So look, with that, as I said, we know the Falcons are going to put up a score. So the Bengals are going to have to put up a score with our defense in a bit of disarray at the moment, to say the least.
Yes.
It's a really good possibility that he's going to be hard to stop. He's now has the most reception yards for the Bengals, and he's also run the most routes. And in the past 2 games, he's had 9 for 91 and 1 TD at 15 fantasy points. This is standard scoring. And 7 for 132 and 1 TD for 9.7. So, added 9 and 7 points onto those 2, and you're way into the mid-20s.
Nice.
On both occasions for PPR.
Beautiful. Very good. Okay, let's go to tight end. Okay, I've got a couple.
Tight.
Yep. It generally is with tight end, because if you haven't got one of the top few, then you kind of just roll the dice.
Mate, if you got one started.
Yeah, my word. OJ Howard I put in there, and... Ooh. Cameron Brate vultured a touchdown from him, but I think while Fitz is there, Fitz looks to Howard.
I picked up Cameron Brate in 2 leagues.
When Winston comes back...
And he was sitting there after waivers went through.
Right.
I'm thinking, come on.
Why? Yeah. No, I think... Because, look, last year, Winston looks to Brate a lot more. They have a better connection. OJ Howard is the better tight end, but I just, sort of depends. So in the 3 games so far, Howard has been out-targeted. He's out-targeted Brate by a count of 14-6. And the Bears D's given up a tight end score in 2 straight games as well. So here's my first. And I got a second one who also, ironically, you also picked up on waivers, is David Njoku.
Excuse me. It made me almost bring up my drink. I couldn't believe... He's sitting on waivers.
What league was that?
In our... Geez, that's a good question. I think our redraft league. Our original redraft league.
Man, I can't believe that.
And look, it's a 14-team league. And he's sitting there after waivers have gone through.
I find it hard to
I'm
believe.
going, what are you people doing? Because we now have Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
And Baker Mayfield made him look great in pre-season.
Yeah. And made him look okay when he came in.
Yes, and Baker Mayfield has said, I'm going to make all my receivers look better. I don't know how he's going to do that, but he's going to throw a lot of balls, obviously.
I guess. So, I mean, look, against the Jets, he had 2 catches for 36, so, it's not setting the world on fire, I realise, but it's the change in the offense, and this is the thing, and we know that David Njoku is a very talented guy. Baker's going to give him some ball. So who do you have?
Is that why he got the private caravan?
To give him some ball. Who knows?
Okay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
All right, you know me, I if you've got one, start one. And that's usually my starts for tight ends. But I'll give you a couple. I'm going to give you Dallas Goedert against the Titans this week.
Ooh.
Who are only giving up 2.3 fantasy points to tight ends. And they are ranked number 1 versus tight ends. Yet, so far they have only played Mike Gesicki in week 1. So it's a first gamer.
Yeah.
It's probably Ryan Tannehill's worst game this year.
Sure.
Even though they won. But like passing, I think he only passed for like maybe 2 TDs and 250.
Okay.
So I think that's about one of his lowest numbers. I didn't actually look at what the other 2 games were. The second games were against the Titans. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Titans actually have tight ends. The Texans.
Name a Texans tight end.
There's a trivial pursuit.
Got a couple of rookies, haven't they? Jordan Akins.
Yep.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. And then last week against the Jags, they play against AFJ.
Okay.
Mate,
he's been playing all right, actually.
Yeah, okay. He's probably one of the dirtiest words for the word potential, isn't he? Every year. AFJ, it's his year. He's on a better offense. Watch him light it up. Yeah, okay. And he's can't help it. He's playing with an average quarterback too.
Yeah.
So they haven't really faced anybody like Carson Wentz or Zach Ertz. Now, they're not absolutely loaded with Jeffrey out at the Eagles for wide receivers.
That's true.
So we put Ertz and Goddard on the field at the same time. Which one do you cover?
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that Goddard, he found a touchdown last week.
He's looked good. Yeah.
Now that Wentz is back, I think he can both of them could score. It's going to be hard to stop both of these tight ends this week.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. If you look at the Titans, you think, the number 1 against tight ends. Well, they haven't played any yet.
Fair call. Any others?
Oh, I do have another one. Tyler Eifert, your boy.
Ooh.
Up against my boys again. They're only giving up 5 fantasy points to tight ends, but if you look at look at the numbers of fantasy points they're giving up to tight ends, mate, by the time you go from like 2.3 where the Titans are to the Falcons, mate, there's 20 teams in between. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of tight ends doing anything at the moment in the league. So as I said before, the injuries are going to be really hard, especially this is where the safeties will be missed the most, trying to keep an eye on these tight ends.
Yes.
And look, each week his targets have risen.
Yeah.
From week 1 to 3, week 2, 4, and last week he had 8.
Yeah.
And the last 2 weeks he's seen 65% of the snaps. So it's going up all the time as well. And look, it's going to be really hard for the Falcons to cover all the options this week, isn't it? You got Green, Boyd. John Rossi's not really exactly doing anything, but the point is he stretches the field.
Sure.
And you have to keep an eye on him.
You have to respect it.
You do. And now you got Gio coming out of the backfield, getting passes out of the backfield as well. And we know what the Falcons are like against pass catching backs.
Yes.
Absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenally shit. Tyler Eifert.
Mixon's close, by the way, apparently, but he's, not playing this week.
Well, he said he wanted to play last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's not playing this week, so...
No.
Oh, thank God they don't leave the decisions up to him.
That's right. Well, listen, it's time for this.
Yeah, mule! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Whoa, camel! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, camel! Whoa! Oh, come on, whoa! When I say whoa, I mean whoa!
So, should I start with my woe camel?
Mate, you keep going.
All right.
You're doing a great job. You've only stolen 2 so far.
That's not bad.
No, that's great for you.
All right. I wonder if you've got this guy. Ryan Tannehill.
Sit.
Oh.
What's this praising?
I'll tell you why. And I even wrote here, this is kind of controversial. I mean, the Finns are red hot. They're 3-0, and the Pats are struggling. And actually, Tannehill's thrown 7 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. I think the 2 interceptions were in that week 1 game, but since then he hasn't. And the last 2 weeks he's had passer ratings of 123.1 and 155.3, but the Finns have only played Tennessee, the Jets, and Oakland. And you're going into New England, and
Mate, you only beat who's put in front of you.
You can only beat who's put in front of you.
And he's done that.
But for all the discussion of New England, the era's over. They're playing in New England.
No, I don't think...
And you're backing them into... It's an early desperation call, isn't it?
I think you have to wait and see when they've got all the players on the field.
Yeah.
Edelman helping that passing game.
Yeah, so anyway, so Tannehill's my sit. I actually think that it's going to be a big moment, a big occasion. Not that the moment's going to get the better of Tannehill, but I just think there's going to be a lot more going on than we expect.
You did hear when I said in the last 11 games he's won 10.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you heard that.
No, I know. That's why it's kind of a controversial one, I reckon. But anyway, who have you got in your sits?
You only bringing one?
Yeah, one.
Oh, you're back to the usual self. That's good, mate. I felt uncomfortable when you bring in two of everything. I'm going to sit this little fella on top of my microphone.
You nicked my little guy.
I did. I nicked your little
dude.
Because I want to stare him in the face.
When you tell him
When I tell him, I'm going to sit you this week.
Against Cleveland.
You know what you need to do?
Against the Browns team.
You need to get this doll and you need to get some black... like eyeliner and put a little circle around each of his eyes. So there's a little raccoon look like he gets. That's what you need to do. Make it more realistic. But no, I'm sitting Derek Carr this week up against the Browns, and the Browns D has been good.
I know it has been.
And not just against plebs.
No, it is a good D, for sure.
They're only giving up 9.79 fantasy points to quarterbacks.
Ooh.
And add the fact that at the moment Derek Carr is ranked number 26th.
Ooh, don't say it.
And he's only given us 35.4 fantasy points. Mate, that's an average of 12 a game.
Not good.
Once again.
Not good.
Use the calculator. There's a lot of numbers at the end of it, but I just sort of rounded it out.
Yeah, no, that's okay. You can round it.
He's only thrown 2 TDs. One of them came last week. We saw that big one to Jordy Nelson.
Yeah.
The unusual thing here is that he's number 6 in passing yards. He's thrown 936. But sits 26th amongst quarterbacks. Isn't that?
Ooh, gee.
He just can't throw a touchdown and save his life.
No,
and look, the one he threw last week, Geordie had to run it for like 78 yards.
Oh yeah.
So he's number 20 in passer rating too, which is not great, and he's number 1 in interceptions.
Ooh,
equal number 1.
Okay.
I think there might be a few of them holding hands together at the top of that list.
No good.
And look, the Browns have only allowed an average of 248 yards and 1 TD to quarterbacks this year, and they have played the likes of Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees.
Ooh, gee.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
I couldn't go, and Sam Darnold! Sam Darnold.
All right. Got any others?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to sit Ryan Fitzpatrick this week at Chicago.
Okay, that's fair.
Giving up 15.6 fantasy points. Now, Fitz is number 2 amongst fantasy quarterbacks with 97.4 in 3 weeks. Who would have thought an average? An
average?
Of 32.5 fantasy points per game. Once again, thank you.
Calculator.
He's 13 yards, only because Cousins played today.
Yeah.
So Cousins went to number 2.
Okay.
But prior to this week, he was number 2 with 1,230 yards.
Wow.
Number 2 in TDs.
Yep.
And number 10 in rushing.
Get out of town.
I just had to put that in. Like number 10. Mate, he's ahead of guys like Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes is number 11.
Oh.
And who do you expect? If you said who's going to have more rushing, okay, it's only week 3.
Yeah.
But even in week 3, who's going to have more rushing yards, Patrick Mahomes or Fitzpatrick?
Any week.
Yeah, he wouldn't have a number 10. Now, we saw what happened to him last week when he was put under pressure last week.
Yes.
Mate, he threw 3 interceptions. Now, 2 of them were because of pressure, and they were terrible decisions.
No, but one was a deflection that was
that's what I said. 3 of them, 2 of them were terrible decisions.
Yeah,
I'm not putting all 3 of them on him.
No.
Right? Because they were pressure. And this week, Mate, he's going up gets a far better defence than he saw last week in his face. The Steelers' defence, not as good as what the Bears are showing at the moment. They look phenomenal at the moment, the Bears. You've got to give it to them. And picking up Mac really put him over the edge a bit, hasn't it, at the moment?
Don't remind me.
Yeah, so he's going to, not only is he going to see pressure in his face, he's going to get it from the edge.
Yep.
And just an interesting fact that I heard today, in the past 9 home games, they have only given up 16.4 points per game.
The Bears?
Yep. And 0.9, not even 0.9 TDs.
Oh, really? Wow. And there's a funny thing with Ryan Fitzpatrick is that when he gets comfortable...
He could turn into a pumpkin.
He can turn into a pumpkin.
Yep.
It's the pressure of him being, am I the guy? Am I not the guy? And now that he's kind of, you've been given the job, I guess the inference would be you've got the job till you lose it. He might get a bit comfortable. I mean, he could be pumpkin on, this week. As early as this week. I mean, ask the Jets.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, we've seen the worst we're seeing the best of Ryan Fitzpatrick right now, probably. We've seen the very worst of Fitzpatrick, haven't we?
But you saw the worst of him at the worst possible time.
Oh, yeah, at the worst possible time, yeah. Running back, I've sort of got 1.5 because the half is so obvious. Okay, the first one I got is Peyton Barber.
Oh, yeah, I've got Peyton Barber in here too.
Tampa Bay at Chicago. He's averaging 14 carries and 41 rushing yards per contest. That's an average of 2.9 yards per carry.
Oh, you did that in your head too, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Come on.
He hasn't scored.
Don't be shy. It's okay to be smart.
I didn't do it in my head. I used the calculator. He hasn't scored. He's been targeted just once. And the Bears D's yielded the second fewest points to running backs and the second fewest rushing yards. And also, it's just... Man, that running game in Tampa is just like, ugh.
Which is look, I've read that too. Like, the offense, the passing offense is humming.
Oh, yeah.
So you'd expect in some way that the running game, that it doesn't have to be on the same par as a passing game.
No.
But you expect it to be a hell of a lot better than it is. And look, we saw that at the end of last year, hey, mate, if he gets this job, he could make something of it.
Yeah.
What we saw of him last, and he's been given the job, and he's pretty much just shut the bed. They've seriously got to get Rojo going.
They do.
But he offers so much more as a running back. There comes the point where, okay, he didn't look great in pre-season. Just suit him up, for God's sake. I don't even know if he was actually suited up last week.
Really?
I don't think he was.
But we're a fair way out from pre-season now. I mean, he's been doing training. He's been in practices. I mean, put the guy on the field now.
Yeah, let's find out.
Absolutely.
If he's no good, he's no good.
Yeah. The guy that I've got is kind of like an add-in. It just makes me go, ugh, is Derrick Henry.
Oh, you've been copping over my shoulder.
No, have you got him as well?
Yeah, I do have Derrick Henry.
I didn't really write anything, so you can fill it in. I just said it's kind of, look, I've got so many shares of Derrick Henry, and I think it's time to kind of like look elsewhere now. I think it's almost time to go, that's enough.
Look, people are going to turn around and go, oh, look, he's against Philly because it's an easy one to pick, isn't it, really? Against that rotation of, a defensive line, which has only given up 9.7 fantasy points to running backs. But that's not the fact that he's against Philly.
No.
I don't care who he's playing this week. I would not be starting him.
No.
He could be starting against Kansas City. And I wouldn't be starting Derrick Henry.
No.
And look, they've only given up 136 yards and 1 TD, and they are the number one ranked fantasy team against running backs. And in reality, probably the number one run defense in the league. Sure. To be honest, if you look at the numbers, only just pipping the Bears. They both of them have given up 1 TD. I think the Bears have given up a receiving touchdown to a back, where the Philly have given up a rushing TD.
Yep.
And I think that they're only separated by 4 yards in total yardage they've given up. So that's how well the Bears are going as well.
Yeah.
And look, Henry's been a disaster this year. He's ranked number 26 amongst fantasy running backs. He's only got 139 yards. He's got no TDs, and he has the 9th most attempts of any running back in the league this year. Yeah, he's only averaging 46.3 yards per game. Mate, but it's not just him. The whole offense is stuck in a serious mire, aren't they?
Yeah, they definitely are.
We're not talking mud mire. We're talking that, that tar mire.
Yes.
You just can't get out of. And look, it's not going to be helped by the fact that Mariota still has that elbow injury and coming in. And I heard today that a pod I was listening to that they said that he's able to make the whole range of throws, but I've actually read that he can't.
Ooh,
he still can't make all the throws at the moment. So I don't know which one's right or which one's wrong. Okay, so mate, we should probably actually tell each other who, so we can give people more than
completely in sync.
Yeah,
that's all right. No worries. So wide receiver, I've only got one, but I've got lots actually. I only got one, but got more than one because I did say
you've got lots.
Yeah,
but you've only got one.
Well,
How does that work?
Not lots. I should say I've got Corey Davis. I've got Corey Davis.
When has one ever been lots?
Because I'm saying any Tennessee.
Well, you only have to win Taslotto once, and if you win the big one, that's lots of money.
Well, true. No, any Tennessee wide receiver. I mean,
I see.
There's
one
almost,
team with
yeah. There's almost none left, are there? Rashard Matthews is gone. So Corey Davis. I mean, who's left?
Mate, you're not starting any of them based on the fact who the hell throwing the
Taywan
peel.
Taylor. I don't know, but Corey Davis is the number one guy there. He's clearly the best. He's had 13 receptions for 152 yards on 24 targets. I don't think he's made the end zone yet.
Well, they have a new quarterback next year, so
well,
when they go to the draft and get a new one.
So it all stems from the Philly D is a good D, but it's not all about that. It's about the dysfunction of the Titans' offense and Marcus Mariota. So Corey Davis has got to be a sit.
Totally agree. Okay, I'm going to give you Quincy Enunwa.
Okay,
and I think I'm the only one that I've heard in everything I've listened to this week. Everybody's saying start him, and I'm the only one saying sit him. Well, at least I'm right. I know that everybody else is bullshitting if they said, no, we said start him. Because I haven't heard anybody start him. So the Jags are only giving up 15.2 fantasy points. Look, in the games that I've watched this year of the Jets, mate, he has been an absolute target monster. Like last week especially, he had 11 targets. Mate, I thought he had 11 targets. It looked like he had 11 targets in one quarter. Darnold was throwing the ball that much. He's the 14th most targeted receiver. And mate, he's great after the catch. However, the Jags have they got a couple of half decent corners, haven't they?
Yes.
Just okay. They're just okay.
Okay.
Average.
Would
you say average,
yeah,
or just a bit above average?
Yep.
All right. So add that to the pressure that they'll put on Darnold this week up front. Just don't think Quincy Enunwa is going to be the guy. And look, I haven't written his stats here, but I did look up his stats, and they haven't, he's been getting a lot of targets, but his yardage hasn't been exceptional. So I don't know why everybody's talking him up. I suppose in PPR, if you're getting 11 targets and you're catching 9 of them, 4.5 to 9 points, depending on what system you play, looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I've got Deshaun Jackson this week against the Bears. They're giving up 26.2 fantasy points. Look, he's number 9 amongst wide receivers in fantasy at the moment with 312 yards and 3 TDs, 49.2 fantasy points. But I purely base this on the fact that I don't think... Look, Fitz needs time for Deshaun to get downfield. And Deshaun's touchdowns have come from deep passes. Mate, I just don't think he's going to get that time. He's going to... Look, it's not that he's not going to have opportunities. He's going to have opportunities during the game where he does have time. Now, whether or not he takes those opportunities to chuck the ball down the field. And look, he is. For a guy that's... where is he educated? Is he Harvard?
Yeah, Harvard.
Yeah, Harvard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes some... I saw the 2 interceptions he threw last week were just seriously dumb for a guy that smart. He's the type of quarterback that he's going to throw it. But I think those occasions are going to be quite rare tomorrow.
Yep.
On the weekend, I should say.
Yes.
And I also have Marvin Jones versus the Cowboys. Now, Cowboys D does look good. They're giving up 15.1 fantasy points to wide receivers. Galladay's a deep guy.
He is.
He's the number one guy in Detroit.
He has assumed that role.
He has, without a doubt, mate. And look, Tate's going to take what Tate does. Tate's going to take what Tate does. And that could be up there with the Raiders paying for his money on the plane.
Hey, listen, just sorry to interrupt, but so I mentioned to you Lions and Patriots. So I was watching Lions and Patriots, and Galladay looked just a little bit. I said just a little bit.
You did say, I remember you telling me this.
Just a little bit like Calvin Johnson.
Ooh.
Which is, I know, maybe a big call, but I sort of ooh, I saw glimpses of him. If you just sort of squinted, it's like, oh, it's him. It's Megatron.
If you put it like on widescreen and you put on like maybe another 20 pounds, you're
Sure.
probably there.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he looked very good.
Oh, he's quicker.
Yeah.
I think is he quicker?
He could be quicker. I mean, Megatron was, man, he would just...
Oh, he was big
Dominant.
and fast.
Yes.
Maybe because he's a bit thinner, he looks a little bit more agile.
Maybe.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's just
yeah.
what I'm seeing. Maybe it's not speed. Maybe it's just agility.
Yeah, could be. Thought I'd throw that out there.
No,
Sorry,
but
go on.
Golladay's stepping up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and like I said, Tate's going to get what Tate does, you know, all the underneath stuff, especially in PPR.
Yep.
And Jones is the third wheel at the moment. He's ranked number 31 amongst wide receivers in fantasy. Look, he's got 2 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. He's had 54, 1 TD week 2 and 69 yards and 1 TD last week. But, mate, most of the touchdowns have come against defences that are seriously struggling at the moment. And that is the 49ers ranked 27th against wide receivers, and the Patriots are ranked 26th.
All right, tight end for me. Now, I struggled with this one a little bit.
Oh, you're going to say the same
no.
guy I'm going to say.
I think...
You don't want to do it, do you? But you have to say it.
I have to say it.
You
George
do.
Kittle.
Yes.
Oh, you've got him too?
Yes. I didn't want to say it either.
No.
Look, I've the pen that I was using, one of those felt tip pens.
Yeah.
And it's not waterproof, and there's teardrops, and it smuds the writing.
Oh, man. Because I actually think that he could be quite a beneficiary of the CJ Beathard thing, but the Chargers playing the tight end position really tough.
They are 2.9 fantasy points are given up.
Yeah, I was going to say an average of 23 receiving yards. Travis Kelce in week 1 had a stat line of 1 catch for 6 yards. That was it. So George Kittle is the one to sit. No, obviously there's uncertainty in the offense too.
Oh, without a
You've got
doubt.
to take into account.
So if I can just read, I've got a few more things about George Kittle here, but it's hard to see through the smudges. And Noah said to me, he goes, mate, why are you upset, Dad? I said, mate, I got to put George Kittle in the sits this week. After he said, who the F's George Kittle?
Who's George Kittle?
Yeah, he then said, mate, take a teaspoon of cement, would you?
Is that like something you say to him? Take a teaspoon of cement,
Do you know what it means?
dry up
don't
your
you?
tears.
No, take a teaspoon and harden the F up.
Oh,
I said, okay, son, fair call. Fair call, your dad. He's getting me back to take him off the PlayStation.
oh, and
But-
by the way, Dad, I saw that Julio thing there 3 weeks ago.
yeah, just
Take another teaspoon of cement.
yeah.
Yep.
So look, CJ Beathard was the quarterback with him last year. He was also his quarterback in college at Iowa.
Yes.
And look, I think it was in his final year. He only got 40 targets in his last year. So it's not like Beathard was, targeting him at the college system. But in 2017, the games they played together, George Kittle's yardage was 14, 0, 27, 22, 16, 46 and 35.
Yep.
Another couple of guys I got down here is Jordan Reed. He's on a bye.
Oh,
Hey, just in case,
I was thinking, who are they playing?
Hey, someone might be listening. Hey, shit, really? Some people might be asleep at the wheel. And Evan Ingram, just for those, he's got an MCL sprain, so he's out. So don't start him either.
You reminded me, I probably should have said at the top because it's the first bye week.
It is the first bye week. I
is.
think the next 9 weeks are full of buys.
They
This is
are.
going to be quite interesting. Do you know what would be make it really interesting? If they put the bye weeks over like 2 weeks.
Over 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, over 2 weeks. See how your fantasy teams go then. Ooh. What's the dive into like deep?
That'd be ugly.
Oh, it'd be bad. It'd be quite fun though.
Oh, man.
You might find that people actually start drafting around the bye week.
Yeah, they probably would have to. Ooh. Wow. Okay, so that's our starts and sits. So let's go to... now, I think I got them out of order last week, but the one I had was early waiver wire.
Ooh, we're going there, are we?
Oh, are we?
Yeah,
Or-
no, that's fine. Well, what about the wing and the prayer? Because that sort of relates to...
Oh, the wing and the prayer.
the
Forgot
wing and
to
the
do it.
prayer.
Forgot to do it, so you'll just have to fly the flag.
Oh, that's okay. Look, mate, everybody's been saying who is this guy? But we know what tight end situation's like.
Yeah.
He scored a touchdown last week when Evan Ingram went off. He possibly should have had one the week before as well.
Really?
And that is Rhett Ellison.
Yes.
Now, this is a wing and a prayer.
It is.
So he's playing against the Saints. Mate, everybody's scoring against the Saints.
Yeah.
I spoke about what they're giving up to wide receivers and quarterbacks and God knows who else. But they're only giving up 4.7 fantasy points to tight ends. But like I said, mate, there's a lot of people in that group.
Yeah.
Like I said, no Ingram. Mate, they're going to be watching, OBJ, Shepherd. They'll be watching Barkley out of the backfield like Hawks. And just who knows, So he's played 87% of the snaps last week.
Okay, that's a lot.
So he's on the field a fair bit, and that's with, you think Ingram played, I can't remember when he went down, actually. I can't remember when he left the field, what quarter it was. It was after half time, though. It was after the half.
Yeah, I can't recall.
And another interesting fact is he came from Minnesota, Brett Ellison. When he was there, who was the tight ends coach?
I don't know.
Pat Shermer.
Oh, really?
Pat Shermer's a big rap. So just
Interesting.
Win a prayer. If you're tight end, in tight end, Siberian tight end, he might be someone to go out and grab. I can guarantee you, except in a couple of leagues at Army, and I've gone and grabbed him because I have Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
And need a tight end.
Yep.
I'm going to be on a wing and a prayer this week.
And let's face it, it's pretty rare that you've got two good tight ends because there's not many good ones.
No.
So you've got one. If you've lost the one,
Yep.
you're just like, oh dear. I'm like, scratching around on the ground for what I can find. But anyway, have you got any others?
No.
No. So now early waiver wire. Yes. Okay. Now, I struggled, actually, to find any real gems, and I did write down Julian Edelman, but he's probably not on the waiver wire.
No.
Probably someone.
I think you brought him up last week too.
Did I?
Yeah.
Also wrote down Antonio Callaway.
Are you reading the
but
same notes you put down last week?
No, this is brand new. I wrote down Antonio Callaway. He's probably not available, but he might be.
In probably 10-team leagues he might be. Even maybe in some 12-team leagues he possibly is there.
Oh, look, I might even take a tilt at Rashard Higgins.
It depends on how big your bench spots are and your starting lineup.
I mean, that whole offense is going to really kind of kick up a gear. So Rashard Higgins could be good.
Okay.
He might not be a bad one. The other one I wrote down was Donta Foreman because he's on the pup. And the Texans aren't looking too flash.
Lamar Miller's looking okay, though.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway.
No, for sure. Look, I've written down here Rhett Ellison as well.
Okay.
You might find if he scores another one this week, that might the whole perception about him might change a little bit. I've got Dallas Goedert. I don't know if he's available.
That's a nice one.
He might be still there after what he did in week 3. Now, another one, Robert Turbin.
Ooh.
Now, he's got one more week to go of his suspension. He'll be back in week 5. I don't know when the Colts have the bye week. But let's face it, Mack and Wilkins just... The run game's just not looking that fantastic, is it?
No. That's an interesting one. I like it. Nice work. Now, next segment we've got is what we want to watch. Watching.
Oh, I didn't do that one.
Oh, you didn't do it. Well, I didn't do the...
Hold on, let me think of something.
Okay, I'll tell you these. You can think of something. So I wrote down too. Browns Raiders. This is a massive story. No, because you've got the first start for Baker Mayfield, who we are both a fan of. We like the guy. He has looked really impressive. This is his first career start. He got the Browns there.
And I was on him.
win.
I was on him 12 months before he actually came out.
Yes.
As Sheps pointed out, mate, you're a bit early.
Yeah,
he's not coming out.
I remember that moment. Add to that the storyline, which I'm not a fan of, but it's the flip side of this: is the Raiders could go 0-4. So you've got that whole Raiders, John Gruden, that whole drama, and they could be off to an 0-4 start if the Browns could easily win. The Browns could easily win this.
Are they tanking?
The Raiders? No, they're not tanking.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
You look at me like, okay.
Well, they've got a few first-round picks. Let's just why not add another one?
Well,
yeah, I mean, first overall pick, I should say, not just first-round picks.
Man, they're going to have a top 5 draft pick, I reckon, at this rate. And the other one that I wrote down was Patriots-Dolphins, because you've got the undefeated Dolphins, who are first in the AFC East, going into New England. The Patriots are 1-2. They're on the brink of 3 straight losses, which would be the first time since 2002 that's happened. In actual fact, This is the first time they've lost back-to-back games by 10 or more points since 2002. there's so much intrigue around that game. Like, the Dolphins, as we've said, look impressive. Their defense looks good. Tannehill looks good. And then you've got the whole dysfunction of the Patriots. Like, ooh.
Everything that went on in the off-season is it
coming home to roost?
Yeah, is it coming home to roost?
A little bit. Yeah, so those are the two things I said I was looking forward to watching.
And if Miami win this week, they go 3 games clear of the Patriots.
Yes, well, technically, they would have the win on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well. 3.5, would you call it? I don't know, anyway.
I'll just say 3.
Whatever. Yeah, 3.
2 games a year you look forward to, and that's the Steelers and the Ravens. Always play each other really, really tough. The Ravens have no fear about going to Three Rivers, do they?
No.
Absolutely none at all. So this is going to, and with everything that's going on with Pittsburgh as well, this is going to be a very, very interesting, tough, hard. And that's the thing that I enjoy about these games between these two teams is, mate, they are just seriously physical games of football.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm looking for, so there might be a lot of flags this week.
Oh, they could.
The way they're throwing them out.
There definitely could be. Well, gee, Twitter questions.
Oh, do we have some?
Yeah, we got a few.
Did my mum send some in?
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
I gave them to her too. Thanks, Ma.
Okay, first cab off the rank from Pete Randall. He asks or says, should I have started Goff over Big Ben? The answer is yes. For sure. 100%. Sorry. Man. You missed that one.
We don't know.
Well, look, it's what did you say? It's Pittsburgh. It's Ravens, and
okay.
No,
granted.
Right.
Granted. And what did he score? What did I say? He scored 40.
Yes,
40 plus. Yeah.
He says he's looking forward to seeing whether the Broncos get smashed. They are going to, for sure. He says he's hoping not. He's disappointed by Chandler Jones. That's a fair call as well.
How long is Case Keenum quarterback?
Ooh, there's a good question.
Me and the analysts were having conversations today.
Yep.
Well, yesterday, actually, about Chad Kelly and Case Keenum.
Yep.
He went out and picked up Chad Kelly.
Mm-hmm. It's not a bad pickup.
I said, mate, we should chuck that on the
early
future.
waiver wire.
Yes.
Yeah. No, good call. Very good call. From Lord Pryor, he says, actually, I'm not going to repeat exactly what he says.
Pryor.
He's very disappointed in the Vikings.
Do you know, before we go on,
Yeah.
do you know that you can go and get like a lordship?
Can you?
Yeah. You get some you pay for it, and you get some piece of dirt in England somewhere that's like 1 foot by 1 foot, and you become lord of that 1 foot by 1 foot, or 1 metre by 1 metre, 1 square metre.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
My one of my good mates, he got it for his wife for her birthday or something.
That's very
she's
funny.
a duchess or what?
Right.
I don't know, whatever the female version of a lord is. But
that's very funny.
So maybe that's what he is. That's what made me think of it.
I don't know. He uses some expletives. He's a little disappointed in the Vikings D fantasy-wise, which is a fair call. Who should he look for on waivers? I've got some suggestions, and you might too.
I wouldn't even know who would be available on waivers.
Well, I said the Dolphins D.
Okay.
But I don't know if they're on waivers necessarily. They've got 6 sacks and 7 interceptions on the season. Browns D, if you can get them. 9 sacks, 5 ints, and 6 fumble recoveries. But, they may be taken. The Jets D, although I was looking through their matchups, they've got some bad matchups, so they're a bit of a streaming option probably. 8 sacks, 5 interceptions. So there's 3 options.
Look, I actually have on one team, I actually have the Steelers, and we've been saying the Steelers up. Mate, fantasy-wise, they've like reality-wise, they've been, so-so.
Yeah.
Fantasy-wise, I think they gave me 16 points last week.
Really? Oh, very nice. Yeah, so maybe the Dolphins D, I reckon you could probably... Browns and Jets probably you can't get. Dolphins might be able to. It wouldn't be a bad one.
Maybe just wait until you see what happens this week, because the Patriots might come out and just, blow them a new one.
Maybe. Here's one from that one dude. He said, it's more a comment rather than question. He says he's looking forward to seeing why they tagged Ziggy Ansah. They'll beat his prediction. They're going to beat the Cowboys 27-13. I think that's probably a fair prediction. Cowboys don't look very good, do they?
The defense looks okay. It's not the defense is the problem. It's the offense. It's Dak Prescott.
Yes.
How long's he going to stay?
Ziggy could have a good day.
There might be a few changes before the halfway mark of this season. And I'm not just talking about guys on the field. I'm talking about guys that stand on the sidelines, wear headphones and with microphones attached and hold up pieces of paper so no one can see what they're saying.
Yes. No, I think that's a fair call. Hot seat for sure. From Neil Gray, he says, I know the game's happened, but concerns about the Vikings' run game? Yes. We were just talking about that. Yeah. I mean, Dalvin Cook just needs to get healthy, but it's that O-line as well.
I was going to say, at the start of the year, people were saying, I brought this up, that people were going, you can't have Zeke. Like, Zeke's going to be no good. Their O-line's no good. They've lost 2 players out of this, and look, they haven't been great.
No.
But Zeke still has the second most rushing yards in the league at the moment, okay?
Yeah.
But people are going, go and get Dalvin Cook. How does that make any goddamn sense?
No.
And I said that. I said, that's ridiculous. Why would you go get Dalvin Cook behind a worse offensive line and not as good a running back as Zeke?
Yeah.
And now, mate, it's all coming to fruition. The fruit is starting to, whatever fruit do on trees.
And look,
they don't blossom, do they? But you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. They've got a good tandem there because Latavius Murray's not bad. He's a good number 2 back to have, but they can't. No, they can't.
He had his chance last week, did nothing.
Yeah,
this
they
week,
can't
nothing.
do much.
No.
He also adds in here: what kind of value does Beathard have over, say, versus a Darnold?
No.
Beathard?
I don't think Beathard was actually. I haven't got his numbers here, but I don't think he was actually that bad last.
He wasn't.
But you're not going to start him.
Well,
but if you're looking at Darnold and Beathard, you must be in some serious trouble.
Or Superflex.
Yes.
I mean, Beathard, I think, was a decent sort of.
Shanahan's not going to change his offense that much, is he?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Beathard was with him last year.
Yeah.
He knows the system. And look, to be quite honest.
Yeah, being honest.
Looking at Jimmy Garoppolo this year, seriously unimpressed. That's just my opinion, and my opinion means absolutely jack shit, but that's okay. It means a lot to me.
Well, it took Matty Ice a while to get used to the Shanahan system.
Mate, but it's not just that. It's too many balls are thrown without a good platform and all his weight on his back foot, and he just uses his arm to get the ball where it's going.
Yes.
And, mate, you ain't Aaron Rodgers, dude.
No, and just as a complete tangent, CJ Beathard, did you know he's related to Bobby Beathard, the GM? The ex-GM of the Redskins and the Chargers. He's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. I think he's his grandson.
It's his grandson, is it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I had no idea. Obviously, they've got the same name, but I never made the connection. Okay. From Tony, he asks, obligatory Titans question, how many touchdowns from Mariota against Philly? Don't look at me like that. He says, I got 3, and I refuse to back down on that stance.
3? Yeah. I would.
Tony,
I'll take the unders, mate. If you're going to have a bet, I'm more than happy. I'll give you $100 and I'll take the unders.
Tony, I would love to see him get 3 because I refuse to believe, like my co-host, that Mariota's a bust. But we need to see him, he needs to get healthy and we need to see him start to, actually be a quarterback. Because he's flashed, hasn't he? But he just hasn't been consistent.
Flashed very little.
Yeah. From Rebecca Hain, she just said, Drew Brees, which is not really a question. But I replied to that to say, isn't it interesting how much we talk about Tom Brady? And yet, you've got a guy who's almost as old as Tom Brady in Drew Brees. And look at the level of play that Drew Brees has in the league. He doesn't get the props. He doesn't get talked about enough.
Maybe because he hasn't won 5 rings.
Well,
that sort of helps.
Okay, that's a fair call.
Okay.
All right, touche. But still, there's...
Oh, look, you're right. Like, when you talk about the top Q, he gets in the top QB, but he's never up. Like, Brady's up near the top, but why isn't bloody Drew Brees?
Yeah. He doesn't seem to get sort of the respect that he necessarily deserves, which is probably a fair comment, isn't it? From Richard, on our own pod, The Fantasy Edge... Oh, Richard, I'll have to give it a listen. We can't seem to shake the issue of Dak Prescott. With that O-line, there should be at least 2 fantasy-relevant players on the Cowboys, not just Elliott. Hearns is unhappy. Gallup's a late-round empty space. What has to happen here?
Well, how about one...
Coaching change.
Well, I think we just spoke about that like 5 minutes ago, didn't we?
We did.
I wish Sheps was here because this is a great question for Sheps.
It is.
And we probably couldn't shut him up for 20 minutes. But is it when the Cowboys look the best is when they play up-tempo football.
True.
And they don't do it. It's not game scripted for them. It's not that it's coaching doesn't let them go. Let Dak do what Dak does. Let Dak, if he wants to run, let Dak run.
Yes. Yeah.
Give Zeke Elliott the ball more than 16 to 18 touches a game.
Yes.
Give him 24. Give him 30, goddammit, if that's what it needs to get this offense going.
Yeah.
Like, Dak is not... I read a stat the other day, and I think I called you, and I was on the phone to you, wasn't I? Since Jason Garrett took over, I was saying to you about the passing yards, except for, I think there's a 2-year where they actually went up. I think for the last 6 years, they have decreased from, 250 yards a game to, 160.
Yes.
Under his tutelage.
Yes. Yeah.
As head coach.
Ooh, that's not good, is it? Question here from Grant. He says, as a flex, Mike Williams or Tariq Cohen? We're sort of already...
I'm loving Mike Williams at the moment.
Yeah, we've spoken up Mike Williams already. I think I'm in that camp as well. From Ken, he just said the Texans, very disappointing. I agree. Mm-hmm. They're winless, aren't they, Texans?
I couldn't actually tell you, AJ. I've been watching the games. I don't think I've seen them win. Did we really expect Deshaun Watson to do what Deshaun... Look, a lot of people did, and I know there were people who were taking him with, the second quarterback in drafts.
Yes.
I wasn't touching him.
No.
I'm not saying that in hindsight. I don't have him on any leagues at all. And I had the opportunities to take him.
I don't either.
It's just, it wasn't viable that he was able to keep those numbers up.
No, I agree. Last question, G. From Heidi. I think this is a trade. She says... Hopkins for Juju and Chad Kelly, and she's just got a thing here saying... No. That's a big no for me as well. But she says, which
basically, at the moment, you're just giving up Juju for Hopkins.
Yeah,
look, Juju's
good.
Mate, he's... target-wise, but Hopkins is
nuke. No, can't do it. But... I do like her comment at the end, which you already mirrored, which is she says, I think Kelly starts for Case before the season's over.
There's a good possibility.
There's a good possibility of that. But I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that trade. You could probably get Chad Kelly for free. But, actually, the fact that she's talking about this trade means someone's got Chad Kelly. But you could get him a lot cheaper, I would think. Okay, that's it, G.
Done. Okay,
well done.
Let's go.
I was going to say a quick one's a good one, but this hasn't been a quick one. So, but it's a good one.
Been a lot of coughing. So.
Yeah, that's right. No, don't worry about it.
Just cut out all the crap that I spoke about, which is pretty much everything.
I won't do that. Well, G, thanks very much. Look, Thursday night football, as I said, was fantastic, and we've got a good slate of games we're going to watch and looking forward to. And the sad thing is we're almost a quarter of the way through the season.
Don't write it off yet, mate. But just enjoy the moment.
I know. You can't...
live
focus
in the moment.
On that. Yeah, got to live in the moment. Don't focus on counting the days down.
Love the life you live.
Love the life you live. And on that note...
Unless you're married, sorry. 'Cause that's just not possible.
Don't say that. As always, thanks for listening. We appreciate you tuning in and giving us a listen.
We most definitely do.
And on behalf of G and myself, we'll catch you next time.